Before we get into the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. I mean, come on, what are you doing if you're not subbed to me by now? My content is fire, from stop motions, news videos, reviews, music occasionally. All my social media accounts are linked down below, and now, let's get straight to it. What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So, as you could tell by the title, I am continuing my series of Studio Series figures from the Bayformer movies that still need figures within the Studio Series toy line. I've been going downwards in terms of the original trilogy. I did Dark of the Moon, I did Revenge of the Fallen. Now we are moving into the very first 2007 movie, legendary, part of my childhood. It was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, to be honest with you. I was like a little kid when it came out. I saw it opening day, I think, so a lot of memories with this in terms of the toy line and the characters and the movie itself, just everything. A lot of memories with the Bayverse in general, so there's not really much left for them to do in terms of characters that appeared within the movie. There are a few that I'll still talk about here first up, but for this video, I also want to talk about the characters that were originally going to appear in the movie, or characters that were toy only, concept art characters, because we now have the concept art subline within Studio Series with the Bumblebee movie Rumble and Megatron. So I just wanted to bring that into the video, because if I just talk about the characters that are left within this movie, the video would be kind of short. So I did say in the previous videos with Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen that I wouldn't bring in concept art characters or toy-only characters, but for this one, due to them not having many characters left to do within the movie, I did want to talk about some of the concept art and toy-only characters. So with that out of the way, let's get right down to this list here. So first up, I'm going to go with some of the lesser-known movie bots, and then I'll jump into some of the more popular and more widely known characters. So first one here, we got Nokia Bot, which was Glenn's phone during that scene in Sector 7 where they used the Allspark tech and he transformed into this crazy phone robot here. And it would be kind of cool to see this in Core Class. I don't know how they would do it, because this design is pretty crazy to make into a phone transformer thing within the Studio Series toy line, especially these days with budget. But I don't know, I think it's doable, and I think it could make for a fun figure and also call back to that subline within the 2007 movie where they had the different home appliances and game appliances and phones that turned into Transformers from the 2007 toy line. So that would be kind of like a fun callback and sort of bringing that back within the toy line here for Studio Series. Next one here, we got Dispenser. Legendary Dispenser. A lot of people have been asking for him over the years. There was that one figure during the Age of Extinction toy line, but that is obviously not accurate at all. He turns into a truck, which he should just be a Mountain Dew machine. So again, another Core Class release that I would be down for. I think it would make for a fun figure, just seeing a Mountain Dew soda machine in the packaging for Core Class and Studio Series is funny within itself. And I'm sure a lot of people that don't even know who he is would want it just because it's a Mountain Dew machine transformer. So again, another one that I would love to see in Core Class. Next one here, we got my boy Scorponok, the only animal former within the movie, I think, right? I can't even remember, but yeah, another one that would work in either, you know what, I was about to say Core Class, but I think he would be a perfect Deluxe Class release, judging by the scale, how he was with the army soldiers in the first movie. So I definitely think Deluxe Class would work with him, especially since they just made the Rise of the Beast Deluxe Class Scorponok. So I think they should keep within that same unified scale with Scorponok, even though it is different continuities, and especially, you know, going off of the in-movie, in-universe scale, Scorponok definitely should be more of a Deluxe Class, rather a Core Class. But in the case that they do release Scorponok under the Core Class line, I wouldn't mind it too much, but again, it would be inaccurate, so definitely I would love to see Scorponok under Deluxe Class. Next one here, we got the infamous design of Frenzy. People have been asking for him, though, for a number of years since Studio Series started, since we got his partner in crime, Barricade. So it just makes sense, especially since they brought on the Core Class line. It just makes sense that they would start doing Frenzy for Studio Series. I mean, we didn't even get like a static action figure of him with Barricade like what they did with Laserbeak and Soundwave. Like, I don't know why they're so scared to do a new Frenzy figure for the Studio Series toy line, but I definitely think at some point soon they'll do him to actually complete the 2007 cast, because we don't even have a static figure of him like what we have with Scorponok, Ravage, Laserbeak, so it just doesn't make sense to me that they would skip Frenzy. So I definitely think at some point soon they're gonna do him under the Core Class line. Now getting into concept art, characters and figures, and toy-only characters. I'm going to start out a little simple and then work our way down to some more crazy characters and designs. We have the Protoform preview series of Optimus Prime. I would love to see a redo of this, or even just a re-release. I mean, this figure still holds up to today's standards, so I would love to see him either re-released or redone, along with the Protoform Starscream, even though this didn't appear in the movie, but again, it was more of like a concept art or toy-only thing, so seeing this either re-released or a new one made. This one didn't age as good as the Optimus Prime did. It's still a great figure for today's standards, but it doesn't have ankle pivot from what I remember. But hell, even Studio Series figures nowadays, a lot of them don't have ankle pivot, so it doesn't really matter in terms of that. But again, another re-release or new figure would be welcomed. And we have Wreckage. This was a popular toy-only character back in the day, and still is pretty much so. Seeing him redone in, I'd say, Voyager class would work to me in terms of how they want to do scale for nowadays for the movie stuff and just Transformers Generations stuff in general. So I definitely would love to see a Wreckage in Voyager class. Another one is Swindle. We're starting to get into the video game characters here and the army builder drone type characters from those video games in the 2007 video game. So Swindle here, he would be awesome, and to get his repaint of Camshaft. I think Camshaft was the Autobot version of this drone protoform. So seeing those two redone with better articulation and just more of an accurate game design would be nice. Even though Gamer Edition has started off a bit shaky, it does give me hope in terms of how they've handled the concept art series so far and the subline of Reactivate. I do think they could handle game designs and concept art designs much better than we think right now. Next one here, another video game drone character, Dreadwing. He would be awesome. He was one of my favorite designs when I was a little kid, and still to this day I really like him. In terms of how good the figures held up, not too great. He's in the same boat as Swindle with me. He's not that great of a deluxe class figure for today's standards, so a redo of him in Voyager class, or I don't know, I might be stretching the boat here a little bit, but he wouldn't be too bad of a leader class release if you ask me. You pack in those effects with him too, and you just give him a nice complex transformation so the jet mode looks nice. I think he could work in leader class, but again, I would take a Voyager class Dreadwing. Next one here, another video game character, this time an Autobot drone. We have Longarm, which was obviously modeled after the tow truck that Michaela used in the movie to tow Bumblebee in the final battle. So this sort of is a movie character, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the original drafts of this movie, that tow truck was supposed to be a Transformer at one point. So this sort of is still a movie character if you think about it. But again, another video game Autobot drone here. I would love to see him in Voyager class. I think he would work perfect under that size class, so hopefully one day at some point soon we get him. Next one here, another Decepticon video game protoform, Payload. I think he would be a perfect Voyager class, or again, maybe even a leader class release, depending on, you know, how long from now we get a Payload, which probably in a few years they'll start doing the video game drones, I'd imagine. So definitely Voyager leader class for Payload here. And again, this figure really hasn't aged too well. A lot of the video game figures from the 2007 toy line have not aged too great. So redos on all of them basically, but I'm still going to go through the rest of the characters here. So Payload, Voyager class, definitely. Next one here, Dropkick. He would be a great deluxe class or Voyager class release. I do think this figure has still held up pretty good, so if you want to track him down, he's really not too expensive. You could get a sealed one for like 35 bucks, or you could get a loose one ranging from 20 to 30 bucks. So I would get the original one if you don't want to wait for a redo on this character, but he would be a perfect deluxe or Voyager class release in my opinion. And in terms of them actually doing a new version that's better than this one, I don't know, because again, I still think this Dropkick figure is pretty great, especially for today's standards. So I don't know how they're going to do a new one, but I definitely would like to see them try a new release of Dropkick here. And moving into more of like concept art series characters, we have Landmine, who is modeled after that military dune buggy from Sector 7. He would be awesome for deluxe class. The original one isn't too bad, but I remember the legs and specifically the feet, the way they designed it, it made him pretty much impossible to stand. So a deluxe class figure of him redone in the modern era with feet that are actually good where he could stand would be perfect. So yeah, give me deluxe class Landmine. Next one on the list here, Stockade. I think he would be an awesome Voyager class release for today's Studio Series line. The original one is okay, but he could definitely use an upgrade with some extra articulation and just better engineering in general to maybe make the design a bit more complex and more Bayverse and movie-like. Now, we have another concept art character here, RC. For y'all who don't know, she was originally going to be in the 2007 movie, but she was a canceled character because I think the reasoning was they didn't want to have to explain female Transformers in the first movie, but which makes no sense because we obviously know she and her sisters appear in ROTF and they didn't even explain why female Transformers exist in the first place. So they could have easily put her in the movie, but I think it was more so because of CGI and budgeting reasons. They didn't want to put too many characters within the first movie. Definitely a deluxe class or core class release, but honestly, the core class RC figures, I don't think those would be too good, judging by how the Rise of the Beast one came out. So definitely deluxe class for her would be awesome. I would love this so much. One of my favorite designs in deluxe class figures that I had when I was a little kid. Looking at it now, the gorilla arms do suck, and yeah, she hasn't aged the greatest, but I do still think she's a decent figure. But just to improve those things, like definitely no gorilla arms, ankle pivot, waist swivel, I definitely think there's room for improvement in a new deluxe class figure with Studio Series. And the last one here, we have Voyager class Incinerator. He was originally a Voyager, but I think I would prefer him to be a leader class, judging by, you know, the past helicopter formers in Studio Series being leader class like Grinder and Blackout. But since this guy is a lesser known concept art character, they probably would just do him under Voyager class, but for scaling reasons, leader class would be fantastic. I remember this figure being okay. I did have him when I was younger, but those rotor blade arms are not too great. He can hold nothing. He's really not that practical of a character and robot. Sure, it's cool, but it would be nice in the redo if they give him some hands and they make the rotor blades removable. So yeah, there's definitely some room for improvement, and of course taking out that bright Allspark blue to get more of a better helicopter mode. That is pretty much all the 2007 movie characters that need to be redone within the Studio Series modern day toy line for the movies. Let me know down in the comments below, who do you want redone the most out of all the 2007 movie characters, between the ones that are still left that appeared in the movie, video game characters, concept art characters, and so on. Let me know. All my social medias are linked down below: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. My email is also down below if y'all want to email me about business inquiries, or if you want to hit me up about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama diorama from me because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, photography, or just regular display shelves in their homes. You could either hit me up on any of my social medias or just email me and we could work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!